What is up, everybody? Today we're doing something pretty cool. This absolute beauty is the vintage V120 in TV Yellow by, well, Vintage Guitars. It's called Bumblebee. I just love it so. So, full disclaimer, I've had this since lockdown in February. And I had told Vintage I was going to do a review / demo when I posted a cover using this a month or two ago, which was like April, I think it was. So I had initially filmed a product review for this, but my computer decided to yeet the files into the nth dimension. And at the time, I was like, fuck it, I'm not redoing it, I'll just play it. And then I decided, no, I have to review it. I told them I would review it. Although this is not a paid review. I bought this out of my own pocket because I really wanted a Les Paul Junior style guitar, but sadly I was not willing to pay over a month's wage to have one. Okay, not quite a month's wage, but you know what I mean, they're expensive enough as they are. So I thought I would give this a whirl and see what it's like. Because at the time of purchase this came to, I think they retail at £250, but when I bought this one, sorry, I'll stop lifting it now. When I bought this one, I managed to get for about £220, as it was like the literal last in stock from provider. The person I bought it from, I can't remember the name at this moment in time, but I will put a name up there and I'll put a link to their shop down below. I gotta give them a shout out though, considering at the time we were in a complete and utter whiteout as well as the lockdown. Literally, you couldn't get anywhere. You couldn't get further to the fucking shop or not. And within 3 days, this had arrived. Nearly lifted up again. And considering that the whiteout came, I was very, very surprised. And generally speaking, I think it sounds awesome. Right, so before we get any further into this, we are going to have a little listen of this in the context of what I would consider a full mix, because I'm not an engineer. So I'm going to do what I can do, and then we'll have a little talk about it afterwards. So without further ado, let's give this a little look, shall we? Right, so the specs on this. Yes, I just lifted it up again. Soz. We have a mahogany body and mahogany set neck, which for the price point I wasn't expecting, because everyone keeps raving about how set necks are generally more expensive. I don't understand that much, so if someone could enlighten me, that would be awesome. It's got a Lignum Rosa fretboard, and I'm assuming it's like some sort of rosewood. Well, the name of Lignum Rosa probably would be 24 and 3/4 inch scale, which is the standard Les Paul type neck, or for that any Gibson, Epiphone, any of their styles in general, sort of length neck. Fucking short asses. Anyways, 12-inch radius is quite a fast neck. It is a, one sec, I've got it on the screen. It doesn't actually say what the shape of the neck is, but it feels like a thin C or a thin D neck, more like a D. Either way, it still feels really comfortable in hand, and the paint and finish is really awesome. There is a couple of things, but we'll get into that. It is not a P90 pickup, it is a Wilkinson WP100 pickup. I'm assuming that's like their idea of a P90, because the P90s are like stupidly expensive. But anyways, or a P100. There's a P100, isn't there? Yes, there's a P100 as well. Black graphite nut, which I was quite surprised with. Although it does feel a bit meh, but that's that. So yeah, it's got a wraparound style bridge that is adjustable on the G and B string, although most people tend to swap that out for a intonated bridge. I'm not too sure where you can get them from, but I know people, some people do swap them out because they just don't like that style in general. Admittedly, it feels a bit weird for me, but that's just me, because I'm used to bridges that I can adjust myself. It's got Wilkinson tuners. I think they are, oh sorry, Wilkinson Deluxe tuners. I don't think they're lock-in. To be fair, I can never tell the difference anyways. And one of the things you tend to look at in cheaper guitars are the fret ends, and you know what? It is so smooth. Like, it's been made perfect in that sense. Because like, my Fender Telecaster is a sub £1,000 guitar. I think it was like 700 something. I basically got it off a friend, and the fret ends needed sorting out on that, and that's a much more expensive guitar. It's like near enough 3 of these for the price of that. So I was pleasantly surprised with that. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to have a little playthrough of this on some more settings. Signal chain as follows. From the guitar, straight into my interface, which is a Scarlett 2i2, into Reaper as my chosen DAW, and then, sorry, going to use some Neural DSP plugins, predominantly Nolly and Gojira, and I might try pulling out for some cleans, because cleans are nice and sparkly. Anyways, once the sounds are done, we are going to talk about some of the bad points. And by this point, everyone's like, bad points! Bad points. But we'll talk about that in a minute. And you know what? For a moment, it even holds itself in drop D tuning. You know, when you just want to do the thing. Don't play dumb. You know what thing, when you're your early teens, you discover manhood. And by manhood, I mean you learn how to drop tune a guitar, not just stick and standard all the time. And as a bonus, I'm going to drop tune the shit out of this using Gojira plugin, and just for pure research reasons, we're going to see what it sounds like in much lower tunings, even if it is digital, because I am not attempting to reset this up for lower tunings. So we're going to digitally drop it and try it out in some much lower tunings. This could be interesting. Right, so I don't know how to say this. Here's the bad points. Okay, so first of all, I don't know if this is factory issues or if it's warehouse issues from where I've got it from, although it was packaged in like a really clean manner, so I think it may have just been like something that may have slipped through some QC issues. But while some people go, oh for fuck's sake, naturally at this price point you don't expect a boutique amazing £2,000 guitar for, well, 250 quid retail. So naturally there are going to be some things. They're not bad, it's just a couple of little things that some absolute nerd stains will look at and go, well, that's shit. That is also shit. I'm not too fussed. It doesn't affect the playability in any shape, way or form. It's just visual more than anything. So first up is the cover. Sounds a bit hollow, that. It was scratched to shit. Like, not like it had been played, but like someone had maybe dropped it in the factory or warehouse or whatever, and it somehow managed to damage it. It's like a bit wider than scratch marks. It's like someone's gone over with like a screwdriver or something like that. It's hard to describe what the marks are like. And there's also one weird streak where it looks like someone's keyed it, sort of streak. But I'm not too fussed because all my guitars have stupidly scratch bits from where I've been playing anyways, so it's not an issue. Frets are really well done, but right at the top by the nut there is some, like you can see where the wood's like not whole, so to speak, where the wood's like chipped or cracked, or like literally right in the very corner of the low E string is like a tiny little piece missing, but like I said, it doesn't affect playability at all. It was just something I put up on, I spotted, and that is pretty much right about it, really. So there's only really two bad points when you think about it. I mean, as I said, for something that's sub 500, you don't expect amazing. But to be quite frank, this is amazing for the price point. I mean, I like how it sounds. Like, I've never played a actual Les Paul Junior, so I don't have a proper one to compare it to. But having played it against my Telecaster, my PRS, my other actual Les Paul, my Epiphone Les Paul, it holds itself really well, especially in the context of a mix. So all in all, would I recommend it to anyone? Yes. It'd be stupid not to. Even if you have thousands of pounds, dollars, whatever currency of guitars, it's nice to have something like this. Now, I've got two vintage guitars already. My vintage PRS style, which is over there, and obviously I got this. I would like to try the vintage 25th anniversary series, probably the Les Paul Junior, because it is gorgeous in the silver burst. Plus it reminds me of Rise Against, and I'm a big fan of Rise Against. So, and it's funny how you associate guitars with players or bands. Then again, you deal with everything in life. But yeah, I recommend it to anyone, especially if you haven't, much like myself, haven't got the bank account to buy a actual Les Paul Junior style guitar. Not many places do sell them, and if they do, they're extortionate. Or if you're like me, for example, who lives in the middle of nowhere, getting to somewhere that may have one in stock is near enough impossible. Because I think the nearest place I did see one in stock in a showroom that was a Gibbo, I think was Glasgow. It's like 7-8 hours away. No, just no. So I'm happy with this. It feels incredible, and when I get round to doing more covers, probably more punk covers, because that's what you'd associate this with, is like punk or punk rock or dad rock, for want of a better term. Yes, dad rock is now a term. It's no longer rock, it's dad rock. Just saying. So yeah, as I said, all links below, all applicable links below for that matter, to the details of this, places you may get it from, or like I said, I'll link the shop where I got it from, because they deserve a bit of credit, because there was, when it arrived, it was just super fast, super well protected, and I couldn't have asked for any more, really. So yeah, let us know your thoughts below if you made it this far. Any comments, just general thoughts, what you think, any questions, let me know. Or if there's something that you may like to see on the channel in future, because I'm actually going to be doing a Wilkinson pickup shootout, because I got this, my PRS, and I've recently modified a cheap Beta Stratocaster with some Wilkinson high output single core pickups. So I'm going to do a shootout of those three for pure fun. It's going to be fun. Did I say fun? Yes, it's going to be fun. So yeah, I'll stop chatting shit now. Until the next one, don't forget to like, comment, or if you like what you see today, consider subscribing, sharing it, see if anyone wants to see something like this. And yeah, perhaps vintage might help me out with getting hold of one of the 25th anniversary guitars. Jokes, I don't think he'd do that for me, but yeah. Until the next one, stay safe. Peace.